I was wearing my jacket all day. I would not take it off because I didn't feel comfortable taking it off. So, and that hits in other places too, right? To feel like that, the insecurity, which like nobody should ever feel like that. But I felt like that. I just put so much energy into work, and I'd just get so lazy when I got home. I'd sit around and not do anything, and never really got out of the house, never did much for physical activity. I was not really worrying about meals and eating out a lot because it was quick and easy. Like I said, the bulk of my food consumption, I guess, would have been 11 o'clock at night. I'd just sit there and eat a package of cookies, a bag of chips, like stuff that's just not actual food. Honestly, like embarrassed at points. Like we did a photo shoot for, having our little baby and stuff, and we did it downtown, and I was looking at some of the photos and I could just see a tummy. I was like, oh my goodness, like I've never seen a tummy before. And like that just felt like pretty crappy, man, like ashamed almost that I've let myself come to this, because I've always known that, doing a little bit of fitness and exercise and eating healthier and stuff can make a change, but I didn't realize until now how many little tiny habits I had that led to that. Like I didn't start working out or anything until we started these calls. Like I wasn't doing anything. I was just completely living my life with no consequences almost, I guess. And then, like I said, it kind of caught up with me, and I started to notice, you see physically first, I feel like, and then you start to think mentally about it. For, if I would have kept on that and kept on that and kept on that, it's heart disease and stuff, man, it's real. My mental health was going down, not getting any relief, I guess, because I find that working out can be a bit of a stress reliever, and I had no confidence. I was feeling bad about myself. I was getting lazy around the house, and that was hurting relationships and stuff too. It wouldn't have been good if I would have stayed on that path. And I'm happy that I made the decision to do something about it. I find weeks fly by. I found that at first, like I said, I was getting sore, and you have more doubts, and then once you start to kind of see some progress and get into it a little bit more, you really start to see what you were doing wrong and seeing where you can do more improvements and kind of what pace you're on and what's achievable for you at that time. Working not just on making sure I get to the gym or doing my workouts and stuff, but actually working on why I want to feel better and the why I got into the position that I'm in, and finding different motivators, and honestly just like bettering myself completely. I feel like I've just worked on so much stuff in the last 12 weeks that it almost gets addicting to what can I achieve this week, right? Like it feels good. I was kind of in the driver's seat in that there wasn't any crazy, like, Brennan, I'm going to need you to work out 5 times a week right from the get-go. I'm going to need you to start not eating this, not eating that. It was just kind of like, what do you feel you can do at this time that's going to put you in a better spot next week without, like we mentioned before, overdoing it, which at the beginning, I believe I did make some goals that weren't sustainable at that time. And the next week we kind of talked about it, and I was like, you know what? Like, yeah, like I definitely maybe tried to push myself a little bit more than I should have. But really just kind of subconsciously making new habits. I have to go into the gym for hours at a time, a couple times a day. I didn't have to go on any crazy diet. I didn't have to cut out any foods from my life. I chose to for some, or the times that I do it. I didn't have to starve myself. I didn't have to do any crazy like monitoring of fats and carbs and calories, and like I didn't really have to do anything that drastic or dramatic, and I saw big results. I've gone from when I was weighing myself from 202 to 185. I haven't been that weight in a long time. You know, when I get home, I'm not completely spent from the day at work. My daughter's 10 months old and she has a lot of energy. And, it's hard to come home and match that. But it's definitely helped in that regard. I'm excited for her to kind of grow up seeing me playing sports and being out doing things, and hopefully that will rub off on her, and not just sitting at the house all the time and watching TV and eating food. And like my wife too, like just getting home and having more energy to do more around the house, fix the house up, make it more homey. Like we just moved in a year ago and it's been hard to do stuff with the baby and blah, blah, blah. But I lacked good time management and the motivation to do things. And since then, we've painted the whole upstairs and put a new front deck on, like did a bunch of stuff that before I had no motivation to do. I definitely feel as if I've made changes that I can easily keep up with. They're not too difficult. They're nothing crazy. They're just being aware of what I'm doing and how it affects me. So I play in this softball tournament every year, and the next day, like, not just me, everyone's like, "Oh, I'm so friggin' sore!" Like, oh man, like even me, like, the last couple of years, like coming down the stairs the next morning, you know what I mean? You're just, I didn't feel sore the next day. I felt, like I did when I was in high school and I was playing 2 sports at once, and you'd have practice all the time and you'd be just fine after because you're used to it. You're in shape. You're someone. So I think that was definitely a big moment. And then just being able to, like, just looking at some of my measurements and stuff and seeing where I'm just losing, I don't even know, honestly, like 3 or 4 inches on my stomach alone. Like being able to see that measurement and watch it go down and down, and then, looking to where it was a couple weeks ago and thinking, wow, like, no wonder why I could see my gut in that family photo shoot. Like, it was there.